What's up my friend, today I bring a special video, 25 things 80s kids could do that today's kids can't. This should be a lot of fun. But before I go into that, can I ask you for one thing? If you can leave a like on this one, thank you so much my friend, this is the best way to show support. If you can subscribe, well in that case forget about it, you make my day, have that in consideration. Now, few things and please pay attention. First, link for the original video in my description. You guys end up recommending this one on Patreon. If you want to join, link on my description. You don't have to do it, but if you do it, I appreciate it. And second, there is a bunch of lists similar to this one, but instead of the 80s kids is the 90s kids, the 70s kids. Should I react to all of those? If so, leave me a comment with the number 29, because if I see a lot of 29s in the comments, I will do it. That said, I know I have a lot of kids from the 80s watching my channel, since I can see the demographics on YouTube. So enjoy this one. I believe this will be probably very nostalgic to a lot of you guys, and I'm really curious. If you are wondering, I'm not 80s kids, I'm a 90s kids, but I suspect a lot of things here I will also relate. So let's play it.
Did you know there are many things 80s kids could do that today's kids can't?
I believe it.
The world has changed a lot since 3 decades ago. Oh my god, the 80s were 3 decades ago. Technology and culture has radically altered the way we do things. What once was pretty normal is now either old-fashioned, taboo, outdated, or weird. From sugary cereals to access to computers, so many things were far and away different. For the 80s kids, it was a beautiful time. For kids today, it will probably look like a foreign universe. Get ready to travel back in time. Here are 25 things 80s kids could do that today's kids can't.
Oh boy, this will be a good one.
25. Ride in the very back of the vehicle. Let's just start off by saying that car safety standards were a little different in the 80s than today. This is back when station wagons were still a thing and car seats weren't mandatory. When guests were in town, it was completely normal to give all the adults a seat in the car while we kids went in the very back. And I mean... No, is this real, my friends? By the way, wagons are still very popular in Europe, but that's beside the point. Did you guys ever do that? Believe me, again, I know I have a lot of kids that end up growing up in the 80s, and you guys may relate with this. Is this true? Please give me a comment. I believe it's true, but it's crazy. Very back. No seat, just hanging out together, untethered, bouncing and bumping around, hoping dad wasn't gonna get in an accident. 24. Share a seat and a seatbelt in the car. Speaking of car safety standards...
Okay, to be honest, well, at least you have a seatbelt. Tremendous idea. That said, quite dangerous.
When adults found themselves in a situation where they wanted kids to use a seatbelt and there was only one spot, guess what? 2 or 3 kids in one spot with one seatbelt. No problem. 23. Get tangled up in the phone cord. I realize some of you might not even know what a phone cord is, but there was a time that not so long ago, phones were connected to a base by a cord. These cords were often stretchy, coiled, and really fun to wrap yourself up in while you're talking to a friend. 22. Eavesdrop on someone's phone call. While phone cords were fun, what wasn't fun was someone listening in on your conversation. On the plus side, if you were sneaky enough...
So, my friends, I will pause a lot on this video, spoiler. But I actually see this in the movies all the time, old movies of course, that you are talking on the phone, if someone in the house picks the phone, they can actually hear the conversation. But I remember being a kid and we had 2 phones and that stuff did not work that way here in Portugal. Maybe it was just my house, I'm not sure, I don't want to speak to the entire nation. But this was common in America. On movies, I saw it all the time. But I tried that and never worked.
You could totally pick up another phone and listen in on your sister's conversation with her boyfriend. Welcome to a world before the internet, folks. 21. Play outside in the front yard without super strict adult supervision.
I also relate with this one, my friends, in the 90s. Portugal is also a very safe country, but those are some of my best memories, my friends.
Gone are the days when mom would let kids out to play in the front yard and only occasionally peek out the window to make sure everything was okay. Now, even if it were a safe place, parents would likely be judged by neighbors and maybe even have the cops called. I once played in gasoline.
That's safe.
I thought it was water. There was a gas station down the road. I didn't know at the time, but it had exploded. So all the gas came rushing down our street. And I'm like, ooh, water. And I go to play in it with my Lego pirate ship.
Wait, what? Sorry, that's insane.
Okay.
It was gasoline. 20. Eat candy cigarettes.
Oh,
Even
this is okay. See, I believe there is a delay in Portugal. Sorry, I have to say it. Basically, the things you guys did in the 80s, we just got that on the 90s. I had this the cigarettes. Those are really good. The chocolate, right? Oh man, I have amazing memories with this. Did you guys try those? Oh, I have amazing memories. And I remember I felt like a bad boy, you know? Yeah, now sounds weird, but at the time was cool.
with the anti-drug campaigns and the push to make your parents feel bad for smoking around you, it was still fun to play grown-up and smoke candy cigarettes. They had a very
To be honest, when I did this, I had a lot of fun, but I never smoked the real ones. But a lot of my friends, they continued, you know. That's kind of obnoxious. Is that the word? I hope so.
distinct flavor that you won't find in any candy today. Sure, you can find them at novelty candy stores sometimes, but you won't find them at your local gas station like we did as kids.
Yeah.
Boy, were those things chalky. 19. Play on risky playground equipment. What's a
Okay, I had stuff like that in my school. And I remember falling off that all the time. It was crazy. And honestly, I remember growing up and thinking, how in the world that was legal? Because, so, I'm about to be a dad, probably 1 month, and the kid is out. I hope everything goes well, as you can imagine. But no chance I let my kid go to stuff. I mean, nowadays I believe this is not available here. But when I was a kid, there was a lot of stuff. Okay, this is a bit crazy, this one, but similar to those.
broken arm or leg here and there? Playground equipment wasn't designed for sliding and swinging. It was designed for hanging upside down and swinging from bar to bar
Yeah.
high up in the sky. Concrete also wasn't a big deal for flooring. Remember I told you about my broken arm?
Yes.
Came from playing on a playground. 18.
Whoa.
Use their brains to find a book at the library. Today, we've got computers to look everything up for us. But if you grew up in the 80s, you likely became best friends with the card catalog to find books at the library. The Dewey Decimal System. For you youngsters that aren't sure what that is, it was a wooden cabinet full of tiny drawers that carried small cards. You sifted through the cards to find the book you wanted using the Dewey Decimal System. Haha!
Okay, so this is, I don't know this. Even when I started going to the library, I just asked for the book. The person working there ended up looking in the computer and gave me the book. So, but I don't know what's this.
It was a bit more complicated. 17. Discover computers slowly. In the 80s, most kids were lucky if they had a computer in the house. Even if they had one, many had little idea how to use the DOS-based operating system. The computer was like an odd alien object, mysterious and wonderful. Gradually over time, you could discover the different aspects of a computer because they were so new and fresh. It was exciting. Today, of course, computers are everywhere, and the wonder and awe is kind of gone.
That's true.
A computer! Neat. 16.
But yeah, a phone is a computer if you really think about it.
Pull the ends off dot matrix paper. Before inkjet and laser printers, there was an ungodly noise machine known as the dot matrix printer. To spool the paper through, all dot matrix paper had holes punched in on the ends that would interlock inside the printer and guide it through. Once you had your nice sheet of paper printed, You had the pure, wonderful pleasure of tearing the ends off. Fun fact, we still get to do that at Enterprise. Enterprise still uses dot matrix printers. 15.
Okay.
Experience the joys of chalk. Sure, some kids still use chalk. Kids were using it on the playground.
Sorry.
In the 80s, chalkboards and chalk abounded. Kids were using it on the playgrounds, their driveways, and everywhere. Chalk is making a bit of a comeback amongst many hipsters today, likely because they remember the days of yore when chalk ruled and markers drooled.
So I had this on school, but not in my house. Okay.
Except the smelly markers, those were amazing.
That's a phrase I haven't heard in a long time.
14. Make their parents or grandparents ashtrays in art class. Not only had a lot of art classes disappeared, but the projects were also a bit different from what you'd see today. What's an easy craft that also serves a purpose? An ashtray, of course. While no one was suggesting students smoke, it was almost expected that one of your parents or grandparents smoked. What says I love you more than enabling your elder's smoking addiction? 13.
Okay. Actually, I believe smoking is quite more popular. Smoking cigarettes is quite more popular here in Europe than it is in America. Okay.
Sip their parents' alcohol like it was no big deal. Want a sip of your mom's sangria? No problem. Have your pops or one of his friends offer you a sip of beer, or even a whole one? Classic party shenanigans. Such was the life of 80s kids. 12.
Okay, I remember my father trying to give me wine when I was a kid. My mother did not like that at all. But yeah, but my dad tells story that his dad gave him alcohol very early, which is mind blown.
12. Collect garbage pail kids. Garbage pail kids were
Oh, those are the trading cards. This it never was popular here, at least I don't feel like. But I know what cards are those since I collect cards in general. This was a huge success, right? The garbage pail kids.
were pretty much the weirdest collector's toy in the 80s.
So this was more popular than baseball cards? I wonder.
But guess what? It was also awesome. And kids today have no idea what they missed out on. 11. Play dodgeball at school. Dodgeball isn't just...
See, dodgeball is something that I also saw on movies, TV shows, but here, this was never a thing. Never. Anyone watching this video play dodgeball? I actually played a computer game with the name Dodgeball and was quite fun. But I never, in real life, I never played this. And was kind of dangerous, no?
a game you see in the movies. It was actually played in school. You were given participation credit for trying to slam someone with a big bouncy ball. It was awesome.
Okay.
Unless you were the last one picked for a team. Then it kind of sucked.
I was the last one picked for a team and it was still awesome.
I have a really cool dodgeball thing. I'll never repeat it, but I was the last one on the team and two people threw a ball. One was high, one was low, and I just did like this move where I like ended up almost horizontal. So the one went above me and the one went below me, and I like, it was like, I'm like, I'll never recreate that. 10.
Actually, there is, I don't know, maybe this sounds stupid. There is pro teams of dodgeball. There is pro athletes. Maybe. I may have to Google that.
Wear slap bracelets as a fashionable accessory.
Okay, I also did this. Not those, but different ones.
Slap bracelets couldn't count your steps, tell the time, or give you your exact heart rate BPM, but they could magically wrap around your wrist when you slapped it. Plus, they came in a variety of colors and designs. Take that, Apple Watch. You can't slap on your Apple Watch at all.
You can do it once.
9. Eat sugary cereals. The 80s were, in many ways, the golden age of cereals.
Oh, this is true, my friends. Even here, I noticed that the cereals that does not taste as good anymore. I remember being a kid and those stuff was amazing. Nowadays, less sugar, right? I mean, good. They are changing that, but kids will never know how amazing this was.
So many different kinds of cereals came out in the 80s, and I'm here to tell you they were packed with sugar. So much sugar. Parents back then didn't really care either. They just wanted us to sit down and be quiet. Today, of course, cereals are more focused on fiber and vitamins. 8. Wear neon colors in public without judgment. There's neon, and then there's 80s levels of neon. Many of us 80s kids wore enough neon to make current day ravers jealous.
Okay.
Today, if you're a kid wearing too much neon, you'll probably get beat up. 7. Watch Saturday morning cartoons. Saturday mornings were a sacred time for kids. It was the only time we...
So I relate with this a lot, as you can imagine. I watched a lot of cartoons. I watched Spider-Man a bit, but Smurfs, not a lot, but a bit. Is this Mr. T or something from... I know the name in Portuguese, but I don't... This was a TV show that was quite popular here. Maybe not.
Woke up bright and early to sit in front of the television with a bowl of that sugary cereal and watch cartoons non-stop until lunchtime. From Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles to Thundercats, the 80s had some of the best cartoons ever. 90s had one Saturday morning though. 6. Sleep on a waterbed. At one time, waterbeds were insanely popular.
Waterbeds? Oh, this was never popular here. At least I don't remember.
Today, of course, pretty much no one has them. If you aren't even sure what they are, it's pretty self-explanatory. They're a mattress filled with water.
Yeah,
Turns out they're pretty expensive and costly to maintain, so people stopped using them.
Okay.
Still, kids in the 80s got to experience the bizarre feeling of floating on water while they slept. 5. Pack peanut butter in their lunchbox. In some schools, you can't bring peanut butter to school no matter how classic the PB&J is.
Wait, you cannot bring... So peanut butter is getting more popular in Portugal in the last, I would say, 5 years, 10 years, but was not a thing at all when I was growing up. But I remember seeing this on cartoons. So you cannot bring this to school anymore. Why? It's not that bad, right? Or is really this that bad for your health? I don't know for sure, to be honest, but...
You can't bring peanut butter to school no matter how classic the PB&J is. If there was an allergy, you just crossed your fingers and hoped the person didn't eat peanut butter. 4. Bike anywhere. When you got your first bike as a kid in the 80s, it was the best thing ever.
This is true. I mean, not in the 80s, but in the 90s. Having a bike was the best. I remember being so happy when my parents bought me my first bike. So happy.
It meant freedom. Your parents didn't care where you went as long as you came back before dinner. You could go to your friends, the gas station down the street, the Barons, the school playground, the library, and basically anywhere your legs could pedal fast enough to get you there.
My friends, we are 18 minutes into the video. I guess I can have a deeper conversation with you guys. So, I'm going to be a dad soon. It's a boy. And some of my best memories as a kid, some of my best memories are me as a kid, is what I meant to say. And I wonder, since this is my first kid, is if having a kid can bring that memories in a way that I will see my kid, living those moments. Or is that a bit unrealistic to think about? I know there is a lot of parents watching me. If you could tell me, I would appreciate, because I think about that a lot. Yeah.
Today, with a long, sad history of missing kids and kids being kidnapped, parents aren't so willing to let kids wander off too far from home. 3. Use a payphone. You couldn't carry around your landline now, could you? 80s kids carried a chunk of quarters and used payphones to call home if they needed to. Payphones are still around, but it's unlikely any kid today has actually used one.
I never used one.
Find Carmen Sandiego. As a tricky way to teach kids both deductive reasoning and geography, schools and parents installed computer video games and told them it would be fun. Turns out it was. Where in the world is Carmen Sandiego? 1.
I don't get that. What is Carmen Sandiego?
Select their own Valentine. Kids in school these days either send Valentine's Day cards to everyone or no one. That wasn't the case back in the 80s.
Oh
You got to
no, this was... Okay. When I was a kid, not nowadays, but I thought I was decent looking. And I remember having a lot of those and I was super, super excited. But I also sent a couple. Sometimes I sent 2 or 3 because I was not sure if the girl I liked would like me and I need an alternative. Yeah, sorry.
choose whom you wanted to give a card to. It was always a social contest to see who received the most cards and who received none. So,
Dude, I had a kid in my class that I remember looking at his table and it was absurd. I did okay, but that guy, true champion.
80s kids, what do you miss the most? Other generations, which things on this list are you sad you missed out on? What was better about your generation? Let us know in the comments below, or tweet your answer to us at list25. I can't wait until we get told we're not 80s kids.
Yeah, except I definitely am not an 80s kid.
I was 4, but I mean, there's still stuff in the 90s that rolled over from the 80s. I remember a lot.
This is the great point. There is stuff like there that I remember.
Of this. Enjoying our list?
Okay. My friends, really, again, I believe the number was 1029. I thought this was fun. Not sure if you guys enjoy this type of videos or not, but I thought it was fun. Leaving a like is always one of the best ways to tell me. But leave the number 29 if you would like to see the 70s, the 90s, maybe even the 60s. Who knows? I also could do that. I would love to react to the one in the 90s to see if I can relate with a lot of stuff. But yeah, great video overall. And that's it for today, my friends. Hope you end up enjoying this video. If that's the case, do not forget to leave a like. Also consider to subscribe if you are new to my channel. And also let me remember you about one thing. I have a Patreon community. I put videos there a bit earlier than I put on YouTube. So if you want to support me and have access to early content, go to my Patreon. I will leave a link on my description. Take a look at that. You can also scan the QR code you'll be seeing here. And that's it.